Since I damaged one of my coolant hoses in the front wheelhouse because I had too wide of a tire or too high of a tire, depending on how you see it, I decided to change that one, and since I'm already at it, I'm gonna change all the coolant hoses in the front just to make sure there are no accidents on track. And got the car on the hoist here, and you can see, so here I fixed the damage. So the inner side of the wheel scrubbed against the hose here. It probably is okay with this fix, and but I'm gonna fix it anyway. I heard about hoses breaking, so I'm gonna fix it. So we're gonna change these two, and then if you look up here, there are two lines, one here and one up there, and you see them there. So I'm gonna remove some parts around here to see when I go where I need to go, so it's a little bit of an exploratory mission. I really don't know for certain what I need to do to change those, but yeah, let's see where we end up. A little update. So what I've been doing is I've been losing bolts and nuts here, so you can see there is one, and then on the back side here is one, and then there was a Torx screw up here, another bolt up here, or nut up here, and then a Torx here, and then Torx here. So now hopefully I could remove the metal shroud and just drop that, and the coolant core will stay put where it is, I think, and hopefully I don't need to remove it in order to change the hoses. So the two hoses here and two going forward to the upper, and yeah. So let's try to get this metal bracing out first. As you can see, the metal bracket is now gone, and it's now loose here. I tied it up with a rope. It's really not needed, but yeah, at least something. And there's some kind of holder for the hoses there, so what I'm thinking is that I probably will remove the hose. You see, you have a down attachment point here and an up there. If I release those, then I can pull it out back ways and remove it from the rear there also, and then I can remove and reattach the new hoses on the workbench and just then put the whole assembly back together again. I think that's gonna be the easiest because it's really hard to see here behind the shroud here and all that stuff. So just pull out the whole, well, the assembly of the two hoses. It's gonna be a bit messy with the coolant, but yeah, that's fine. And I can really recommend this tool here. So it's a release, and you have some, I don't know how well it shows. There are some holders there, but it's a special, I can show you on another. So it's a special tool for these kind of clamps, and what you do is, so now this here you can see is locked by that metal tab here, but when you release this it crimps together, and if you want to release it you can use a normal plier, but that's really difficult. I tried, so I know. So but if you use a tool like this, you see there are some special teeth there, And this is a really well worth if you're gonna work with these kind of hose clamps. Okay, so I decided to take away the front cooler because it's two bolts for the bumper and 4 bolts for the actual cooler, and then you can reach in here so much easier. You see, now everything is accessible in a totally different way. So it's worth doing that, but unfortunately it's a complete mess on the floor here, but I got some cleaning stuff. I can take care of this later, but yeah. So the central cooler is with 1 bolt here, or not, and here. And yeah, take care of the coolant and dispose of it properly, but now it's gonna be a much easier job to get to the hoses, as you can see here. Now you can see all the hoses are loose. I'm just gonna pull it out and take it to the workbench and replace them. So this is what the assembly looks like. These are the hoses that went into the wheelhouse. This is the thing that was on the bracket for the fan shroud. And these are the 2 connectors to the cooler. So it's just a matter of finding the right hose. So that goes there, and that goes there, in the behind there. This is that one, and this is, yeah, okay. So just make sure you mount them in the same way as these are mounted. I don't know how good it shows, but if you look really closely, there's an indent there in the hose, and you have a matching tab here. So make sure that those 2 align when you mount the hose. Then all the different bends is going to come in the correct way towards the cooler and everywhere where it should go. So be quite specific and careful, and check the orientation of the previous hose, and just be thorough when you do this. It should be fine. So it's not complicated, just be thorough. Now the hoses that I bought have been replaced, and I put the year on there so I know I don't need to replace them again. And last year I put on the center cooler, so I put the year on there too. There were some years on those hoses also, and there was a hose I changed underneath here, also there. The other ones I didn't get, so maybe I do them some other time, but it's enough for now. So now I'm gonna pull some vacuum and fill up the system, and then it's time to start the engine and let it run for a while and make sure that no coolant is leaking, and also check the oil pressure sensor that's not leaking either. Since I changed the coolant last year, I'm gonna reuse it. So I have a funnel here, and this is a fabric coffee filter that I use, and then I just pour this stuff through there, and then I have some backup also if needed. When you have emptied the Porsche cooling system, you cannot just top it up. You need to pull vacuum into it and then fill it up with the vacuum pump. So this is what this gadget is. So this is pressure, air pressure, 6 bar I think is the maximum. And here is the filler place, so not using the normal one, but this one located here. And here we got coolant in this bucket here. So first of all I'm gonna put some fluid in this hose here. So what I did now, I closed this one off here, and I'll open this, and now I'm gonna take some pressurized air here to suck vacuum into the cooling system. So I'm gonna use this as a catch can here. Now you can see we have pressure build here, or vacuum rather, in the coolant system. So I'm going to pull some coolant into the hose here. I open this a little bit here. Shoot. Oh, okay. Wasn't. There we go. So now we have coolant in this hose. Now I'm gonna pull some vacuum up to this yellow area here, so that's 50 to 60 centimeters Hg, whatever that is, 0.8 bar. So I open this again and use the air pressure. Now you can see it's holding here at 0.5 bar of a negative pressure. It's been doing so for quite a while, and that means that the system is not leaking. So now we're gonna fill up with coolant here. So I just open this valve here. You can hear the coolant flowing And I'm actually gonna start topping up the back bucket here, because this should all go in, since this is how much I emptied from the car. Make sure you don't expose the pickup to air. You need to be underneath the surface the whole time. Okay, now we can see we are at almost zero negative pressure, and the air bubble here isn't moving, so we're not picking up any fluids. That would mean that this would be, yeah. Okay, so just close it up and start it, and it should all be filled.